Hello and welcome to your first workshop for the Reconnect, Rethink, Revive Masterclass. My name is Season Hathaway, if you haven't met me before, but since you're here, you probably have. I am a personal trainer with a specialization and a passion for postpartum bodies, and this program is designed to help you recover after postpartum and also or after giving birth, whether you're 6 weeks postpartum or years postpartum. This program has valuable information for all walks of life after giving birth. And honestly, even if you haven't given birth. So everyone is welcome here, of course, but it's likely that you are postpartum if you are here. So welcome. I know you're doing an awesome job. You might be tired today. You might be feeling like you just barely got here. And if that's true, then it's okay. I am also feeling similarly. I am a mother of two. I have a just over 1.5-year-old at the moment, at the time of this recording, and he's napping right now. So most of these videos will be me kind of doing this in between times when I'm not caring for my children. And I like to think that this serves as an example for all of you of what life really looks like. So rather than having high production value with no kids in the videos or very well behaved kids or help, it's very often just me doing the videos with my children and in the room. And sometimes it goes well and sometimes it does not. So keep that in mind. And I hope that that encourages you in kind of finding space for yourself, knowing that these things can look messy and moving forward in the midst of that. That being said, I want to let you know too that these videos that you will be watching as part of this program are from a previously recorded live cohort that I did. So again, production value is low with these, but the information is so wonderful. This was after multiple times of doing the cohort and fine tuning what information I gave. And so I like to think that this was after much thought and much work on the information. And so I hope you are able to glean as much as you can from this. But I do want to warn you that, the videos are not the greatest quality. I will have captions on these videos so you can hear in those periods of time, or at least know what's being said in those less clear periods of time in the video. And also, you will be seeing folks that participated in that cohort. They will be answering questions as I'm asking them. You may get to know them pretty well. And with their permission, I have been able to use the recordings that they were present in. And so a big thanks to them. I hope that that is helpful to you. Sometimes it makes the videos longer, but I think it is helpful to see someone answering things in real time and seeing folks that are in the same life stage and the same space as many of you are, and how they feel and how they're thinking about these topics, just like you. And that, I hope it makes you feel like less alone, and also just feel like you kind of have a community around you. With that being said, you do have a community around you, even as you're doing this at your own pace, and even as you're doing this as a recorded program. You have a community available to you through your app. So hopefully you've already gone through all of the things that were in the day before this one. You should have a lesson that walks you through all of the features of the app. And one of those things is our community. You should be able to click the community tab, however you're using the app, whether it's on the computer or on your phone. You can go there, you can ask questions. It's a very simple community space, very much like a Facebook feed where you can just post if you're interested. You can like things, you can respond to people. Feel free, I am on there as well, so feel free to ask any questions you have. There are also people on there that are part of my monthly subscription. So they're very familiar with the content. They've been through the program or something similar. And they are now doing 15-minute workouts consistently and every day, or at least trying their best to do so. And they've been part of the community for a while. So you are part of a big community of mostly postpartum moms, and we're all going through this together. So know you're not alone, and know you can always reach out to me for support. Also, make sure you have filled out your benchmark survey, which was on the previous day to this one. That survey will help you see your progress as you move through the program. So while we are not keeping track of maybe what you're used to keeping track of during a fitness program, like weight or other specific measurements of your body, instead, we are measuring how you're feeling in your body. And I think that is, in my opinion, in my experience, so much more important and so much more indicative of how you are progressing than uh, weight, than some of these other measurements that we tend to use all the time. Okay, and we will be talking about that a lot throughout the program. But yes, so please start with that to make sure you fill that out before you start the program. And then as we move through, you will take that benchmark survey multiple times throughout, and you will hopefully, the goal is we see an increase. And if we are not, then you can reach out to me and I can see, we can troubleshoot and see what's going on. This program is 12 weeks long, so you will have a workout every single day of those 12 weeks. And that is by design. That is so that we can build a consistent habit and a consistent routine for you. Whether or not you continue to do that after the program is something that we can discuss. But during this program, really challenge you to kind of create a sustainable habit of doing very small amounts of exercise every day and choosing to choose yourself every day, even if it's only for a few minutes. Okay, so we're going to talk about that more as well, but I want you to know the structure of the program. So you daily will have at least a 5 to 15-minute workout. And then each week we have one 1-hour workshop that's more educational and helps you understand your body, helps you understand some of the mindset around what we're doing here in this program. And so know that that is your time commitment. Some of the videos go longer than 15 minutes for your workout. I've had clients kind of speed them up. Just be careful during the actual workout to try to slow it down to normal pace. That way you're doing each interval for the full amount of time. So, yes, but any extra is kind of fluff around. So, like I said, these are pre-recorded. This was during a live cohort. So sometimes there are questions that were answered live and I answer them. And I wanted to leave those in for you so that you could see what that you might have the same questions. So you could see what people are asking. And lastly, and good thing because my kiddo is waking up. No, that's it. That's it. I already talked to you about the fact that it's a previously recorded cohort. So thank you again for being here. I'm going to end here right now. I'm going to say goodbye, and you will see me in just a second as I start our first workshop, which is pre-recorded. So I'll see you there, and I hope you enjoy. But first, I just want to say welcome again. I'm so glad that you're all here. I'm so excited for this program to start. I'm excited that each of you are here. Like I said, this community really grows pretty close because we see each other almost every day and we learn about each other and we go into some deep topics. And so I've gotten to know each of you a little bit, and I think you each have this like great part of you that you're going to bring to this program. And so I hope you feel that way too. Okay, so first, I want to start off by asking you all a question, and you're welcome to contribute however you're able right now. When you think of exercise or a workout, what images or words come to mind? And these can be positive or negative. I'm not trying to feed you into a specific answer. Anything that comes to mind. And you just unmute yourself. And
it's definitely shifting more recently, but I used to think of it as panting, like breathing really hard, basically. Strenuous.
yes. Okay.
Think about buff people.
I hate them at the beginning. Like, I hate the idea of starting. I hate the idea of doing it. And then once I'm in it, I enjoy it and feel better afterwards. That's not like a single word, but it's just my history with it.
Sweating.
Yeah. Sweating. That's a good one. Okay. So I hear like a general, maybe like a dislike for exercise and from some folks, and the idea of like maybe even just like images of like really buff, strong people and like sweating and discomfort. I just that sounds like what you guys are kind of talking about here, which is all, which is pretty common. And what I did here is I did just a Google search on workout and exercise really quickly. And I'm just going to pop up those pictures that came up when I did that. And one is, this pretty buff lady that's looks very nice for going to the gym. And then we have people working out in like a gym kind of situation with some equipment. We have guys doing pull-ups, buff dudes doing pull-ups. We have the same lady came up twice. She's doing cardio here. And then we have this for buff guy too. So Starly, there you go, buff guys. That's what we get when we just do a Google search, right? Which is a little bit telling about a lot of the messaging that we get around exercise and movement. And that really feeds into our personal relationship. It can feed really into our personal relationship and our feelings around exercise and fitness. And so I do, as we move through this particular presentation, I kind of want you to start thinking about what your personal relationship and history is with fitness. And Stephanie, you already kind of, I think you kind of mentioned it just a little bit there, where you think about like what your individual experiences with workouts are, right? Even just like the feelings that are around them. And then maybe thinking back on like specific experiences that you've had around working out and exercise and things like that. Okay, so just have that in the back of your mind as we go through this. So I think traditionally, Carolyn, I'm just gonna mute you just really, or can you mute yourself? Let me see if I can do it. You got it. Okay. just making sure that I stay up on the thing. Okay, so I think generally the traditional fitness model is shown to us on a regular basis as something that includes these things, and it kind of puts all of it, kind of created this as like a box, right? So fitness can be, I think a lot of times we get these messages around fitness being something, either you're doing it all or you're not doing anything at all, right? You kind of have this idea of like, I'm either working out all the time or I'm not working out at all, right? I'm doing it or not. Long, complicated workouts, right? It's If you're not working out for an hour or longer, then it doesn't count, right? So there's like, sometimes we have these specific amounts of time that are associated with working out, special equipment or locations, like we saw in a picture, extreme body soreness, you feel like it doesn't count unless you feel sore. Food restrictions, a lot of dieting is kind of intertwined with exercise. Getting up really early in order to exercise, I think that's something that's commonly seen as part of what fitness has to look like, right? Strict routines around fitness, so having to do it at the same time every day. And then certain body types, right? We even saw that in those pictures, right? Everybody kind of looked the same. I think we often feel like these are like standards that we are unable to uphold when we ourselves can't achieve them. And then that leads to things like guilt and shame or frustration. And it definitely doesn't lead to an empowering, sustainable practice in the long run, right? Rather than creating something that makes us feel good and that we can do these things, sometimes these can almost be like gatekeeping things where they just keep us out of being able to feel like we can do these things on our own. We need we need to be able to achieve all of these things in order to make it work, and it can really lead to a situation where we don't feel like confident enough to complete them. So rather than feeling like we can't keep up with these things, the reason why I like to think about these things in a box, because I want us to shift our thoughts and our stories around this from being unable to partake in these practices. Okay, hold on. So rather than thinking about it being something that we can't live up to, I want us to think about this being a box that we don't fit in, right? And so I have my little guy here that I'd rather you think about, you don't fit into this box that's been created around fitness, that of these arbitrary things that are within the fitness industry. And so rather than thinking we can't live up to these things, I want us to think about the fact that the fitness industry in general has created this box that we are trying to smash ourselves into, and we are much more complex beings than and we have complicated lives and lives that are variable. And so we can sometimes feel like we're trying to mush into these boxes and we just don't fit, right? And so part of that is because we are in the stage of parenting, and parenting creates a lot of limitations around all kinds of self-care, right? But exercise in particular. And those limitations could be limited time, limited space, lack of sleep, also physical needs. So us being birthing bodies, we are recovering from birth, and we are also needing functional and stabilizing strength in order to do the things that we do on a daily basis as caregivers, right? Lifting, pushing, pulling, jumping, chasing, running, all those things. These are all things that we need to do as caregivers, and that can, these are needs that we have. Can you guys think of any other things that limit our ability as parents to fit into that box that's kind of been created around the idea of fitness and movement? I think I listed a lot there. I just want to give you guys space.
I think sometimes I'll think about either pre-birth or like what used to work, and even trying those things again just no longer works for whatever reason. Like I've changed, things have changed, and I'm not quite sure where to go with it. So
yeah, I love that. I think sometimes we think fitness, we have an idea of what worked for us in the past, and it doesn't feel like there's anything else, right? It's like, this is what fitness is, it can't change, right? It's always kind of this thing. And now that we've moved into this space that's a little, that doesn't fit into that box, like what do we do? Right. Thanks, Sarah.
I
Yeah.
think also, I think
Mhm.
there's a guilt element to it sometimes of like, if I'm going to take the time for myself to work out, then that means I'm not doing something for my family. And then I feel guilty about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think that fits into that limited time and limited space even, right? It's like, it's not just that maybe we aren't committing that time, it's that we have to sacrifice something in order to be able to commit the time, right? It's not just that we're taking that time for ourselves, it's like I could be doing something else at this time too, and we're having to make a choice. And so you have that added complication of like, now I have to choose between, doing the laundry or playing with the kid or, going and working out. And yes, yeah, totally feel that. That's a good one. Okay, good. So one way I want us to start thinking about in this program about where we're at in this period of time. One word I like to use to describe it is dynamic, because I think we tend to start to use these words and this language around exercise that can be more, or on our inability to find exercise that works for us, that can be more on the negative side, and or even like associated with things that aren't, I don't know, that aren't necessarily true about what we do on a daily basis. And one word that I really love to describe parents, mothers in particular, is dynamic, because our world is constantly in flux, right? Changing around us because of the little humans in our lives that are also constantly growing and progressing through life, right? There's always a new stage, there's a new challenge, there's always a new hurdle, and we are also growing with them, right? We are changing as well. But this doesn't always make for an easy environment to maintain this rigid fitness routine, right? We always, like I said before, in the thing in the box was like having a rigid routine, that always doing exercise the same time, the same way. And the space we're at in life right now doesn't really allow for that. But we as parents are inherently creative, right? We've had to be in order to keep up with our kids and survive every day. So what I want us to do during this program is to apply that same creativity to our workouts. And I realize, and the way we think about working out. I realize that this isn't easy, right? We are probably very tired, and it's probably not the top priority on your list. Although it is something that you might be thinking about, seeing as you're here today. But I want to say that it doesn't need to be the top priority on your list. That's why I'm here, and I'm largely what I'm trying to do with this program. I want to be a voice within the fitness industry telling you that it's okay that this isn't your top priority. You have a lot on your plate right now. You have a lot going on. You're looking after the well-being of multiple humans right now, not only yourself, but maybe a little human or humans, and helping your partner at times. And I want to be the first to say that fitness doesn't have to be a part of your core identity. You don't have to identify as someone who works out in order to be healthy or feel strong or comfortable in your body. Also, it's okay if you aren't feeling comfortable in your body right now. You are going through a huge transitional period in your life right now. And even if you're years postpartum, you are still constantly in that transitional dynamic state. And it's normal for bodies to change and fluctuate and shift even outside of the perinatal experience. So, especially so when you're experiencing things like pregnancy and that postpartum, that postpartumness, right? And the things that come after. We are, it's it's okay to feel uncomfortable at times. We're dynamic, we are complex, we won't always be perfectly balanced, and we aren't meant to be, right? And if that's a story that you've been telling yourself about how you should be feeling, uh, maybe even subconsciously, I want you to just take a deep breath and just remember that it is normal for your body to change, and it isn't a reflection of who you are or how good of a person that you are, or whether or not you're deserving of love and care. And you are worthy of love, you're worthy of proper care, and you are worthy of having your needs met always. Okay, so this is something I just really wanted to establish before we even start this program, because I think a lot of fitness programs, you come into them and it becomes, um, you feel like it has to be a part of who you are and your identity. And, and now you're a person that works out, right? And and perhaps you have this relationship with your body already where it feels very complicated. And I just want us to take a moment and recognize that it's okay to feel that way. And we can kind of sit in that discomfort, and there's nothing wrong with that. And especially in this period of time, we're really rediscovering who we are and how our bodies feel. That is a normal way to feel. Okay. And it is okay. So what I want us to do is get really creative. I know this is usually the presentation that I use later on in my program when everybody knows how silly I am. So you've already seen my cat in the box picture. Now I'm getting silly with my little images here, but usually this is later in the program, but you guys are getting it first thing. So I want us to get creative with our workouts as we go through this program. And I'm going to kind of shoot through this really fast. But how we're going to do that is really start to turn some of these things around that we found in that fitness box. We're going to be, rather than thinking like all is better, all or nothing, we want something, something is better than nothing. Short, realistic workouts or movements are enough. We don't need a lot of equipment. We can do workouts anywhere. Small and manageable amounts of exercise lead to less soreness, which is good because we have a lot to do on a daily basis. We don't want to be unable to move. We want to make sure we are partaking in a very nutritious diet. Restriction isn't something that is going to serve us well. We want to be able to fit in our workouts wherever we can. We need to be flexible, and hopefully this is a program that's going to meet you where you're at physically right now. So you're not feeling like, I need to get into shape so that I can get into shape, right? That is not a helpful way to enter into a program. So let's get started with that then. Let's get started with our workouts. And the way we're going to do that, we're going to start with 5-minute workouts this week. And I know that doesn't sound like anything, and that's part of it. Is I want us to really delve into some of the expectations that we have around working out and the thoughts that we have around it. And I think for a lot of us, it's feeling like what we're doing is enough, right? The small amounts that we're able to do are enough, and they are worth doing. And a lot of what we are going to be doing is doing breathing practices. As we get into more of the learning about our pelvic floor and stuff like that, it's going to be a little more, it'll make sense in the context of exercise. But for this week, we are really going to focus more on our mindset around exercise, thinking about our relationship with movement and exercise, because I think that's going to be important to address before we even get into more of the heavy duty stuff. Okay, so this week is going to feel like you're not doing anything, and I want you to really delve into that and feel like, why, if this is really bothering me, like, why is this bothering me? And what are what is my relationship with exercise here? Why am I maybe feeling like this isn't enough? Maybe it's fine for you, and that's great. You're already a step ahead. But this is really going to be, and maybe these workouts, you'll be holding baby, you'll be running around, you'll be listening while you're thinking about these things. And I want you to, that's giving you a chance to feel what it feels like to be in the midst of a workout, be interrupted, have it be chaotic, have it be not ideal. And maybe your expectations weren't met with that workout, and to feel what that feels like. Because I think a lot of us think our workouts have to be perfect, or they have to look a certain way, or we have to have our workout clothes on, right? There's all these things that we kind of feel like have to happen in order for a workout to happen. And I want to give you a chance to kind of experience it in a different way. Doesn't mean this is the only way to experiment or experience it. Doesn't mean this is the only right way. I just want to kind of give you a chance to kind of flip it on its head, experience exercise in a different way, experience self-care in a different way, in a more holistic way. And so the way we're going to do that this week is we're going to do 5 minutes. Today, I want you to just find a comfortable seat if you can. If you are doing the caretaking right now, you do you. You can just listen. It's going to be 5 minutes. I know we're going over by 5 minutes. I'm going to make it. Hopefully you can stay for the 5 extra minutes. And so go ahead and find a spot to sit. I'm going to sit right here with you. Usually I switch to my other camera, but we're just doing breathing. So find a comfortable spot. We're going to do a body scan, and then I'm going to give you a couple of things to think about as we go through. Okay. So I'm going to start my timer. I want you, if you feel comfortable enough to close your eyes, if you're able to, go ahead and close your eyes. Get comfortable. We're going to do a quick body scan here. So what I want you to think about is a light within your body. So just bear with me here. I want you to imagine there's like a little light, and it's in your body, in the top of your head, the very, very top. And we're going to move that light throughout our body and just notice the feelings that we have in our body and see if we can kind of relax a little bit as we sit here. Okay. Again, if you are caretaking, you can do the best you can with this. You can always revisit this if you want. Take a deep breath. Imagine that light at the very top of your head. And I want you to think about it just slowly moving down from the top of your head, past your forehead, your nose, and your eyes. Notice any tension in these areas and see if you can just gently relax them. All the way down past your jaw, your tongue. Don't forget to breathe. Down past your neck and your shoulders. See if you can just release those down. Breathe. Imagine that light floating down gently past your mid-back, down your spine, your belly, and your lower back. Through your pelvis. To your upper legs. Down past your knees, into your calves. Breathe. Into your feet. And you're just going to stay there. Bring your attention to your breath. If you can, try if any thoughts are coming in of judgment or anything on your to-do list, just let them be there. And if you can, let them go past you. If not, it's okay. We're all here together. We're all doing the best that we can right now. But keep breathing. I know this can feel like a lifetime of just not moving, not doing anything. But we're going to give ourselves a quick affirmation as we breathe and sit here present with our bodies. And I want you to say this. You can say this out loud if you want, or you can say this internally, whatever makes the most sense to you. What I want you to say is, I am building a movement routine that is grounded in consistency, grace, and body respect. I am building a movement routine that is grounded in consistency, grace, and body respect. Take one last big deep breath in. Good. And exhale. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Good job, everybody. I know 5 minutes of breathing can kind of, for some of us, feels like a lifetime. For some of us, it's not long enough. But I really wanted us to focus on the idea that that is enough sometimes, right? Like, we have periods of time where we are not able to get a lot of movement in, and it's just not going to happen. And honestly, that taking that time just to connect with yourself and take some breaths can be more than enough of a self-care routine. Okay, and I think that is one of the biggest hurdles we need to come for some of us that we need to get over. And so this week we're really going to be focusing on that and our ability to rethink what movement and exercise looks like, and really delve into our personal relationship with movement and exercise. And so I will be posting in the group. I will post this recording. If you want to revisit it at any point, you can. And then I'll be posting a question in the group about if you feel comfortable sharing that personal experience with exercise and movement and the feelings you have around it. I highly encourage you to do so along with your introduction. I promise I'm not going to give you guys a ton of homework. This week is probably the most I'll ever have you do because I know you're busy, and this is meant to support you through your day-to-day, not make you feel overwhelmed. Okay, so if you feel comfortable, share. And if you have any questions about anything, let me know. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. we'll have another 5-minute. I'll be on here live for 5 minutes at exactly 8 o'clock. So come on in. If you missed it, I know it's short. The recording will come up right after, okay? And we're gonna move into 15-minute movement practices, so it won't feel like you have to like, oh, I gotta get in there really quick because she's gonna leave. So it'll get easier. But 8 o'clock, we'll do the 5 minutes. And again, if you find yourself in the middle of caretaking, in the middle of doing something, if you're able to just kind of pop those earbuds in, turn it on really fast, know that you are welcome here no matter where you're at in your day, okay? But I hope that that was helpful for you today, and I'm excited to keep going. I'll be here for the next couple minutes for any questions you have. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. All right. Bye, everybody.